sing the national anthem. Oh, Uganda, we make our future in thy hands. United, free for liberty, together we always stand. Thank you. Our guests of honor can have a seat, and members, participants can also have the seats. Maybe I will apologize for this side. Mr. Jan, you can switch here so that you can have a visual of the presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zafar Sekulima. I stand here to take you through this session to launch the World Without Waste Revolution. I am blessed with the opportunity to give you a little background. This is why we are having a display here. Our chief guest, this display is a collection of the plastic litter that was found in KASESE on Monday and Tuesday. And I'm delighted to inform to you that one of the litter here branded Diareto, the manufacturer, is amongst us here. This is the best example of the manufacturer we can talk about, who was in September last year. Yes, she's here, the marketing manager, who was September last year issued with a notice of intention to sue by the Feel of Africa. By the Feel of Africa Rights Alliance over their interest that the manufacturer has to extend producer responsibility. The manufacturer committed in Mbarara, and we actually entered into partnership, established underground bankers, and we set up 3. They are there in Mbarara, and there is a best case scenario. It is a long story. That long story has captured a new supply market chain that incorporates subsidized rates for domestic consumables, much largely those that are essential. Today, the manufacturer is with us and actually contributed some drinks that you will enjoy here. That is the best case scenario we have, sir. But there are 86 more here. Received invitations either by public address or announcement, or you are most welcome, Council Lukumbuka. Please stand for recognition so that the commissioner sees the man behind the notices of intention to sue manufacturers. I took the initiative, sir, to mediate so that we do not go to court. We first have dialogue, and this is the dialogue. The people of KASESE chose to be the hosts. So today we have this small number of 87, and we are very sure that if we go back to conduct a brand litter audit in KASESE, we can collect a list of about 300. We want to see that they can make a community manufacturers, fellow manufacturers, the consumers, on how responsible consumers must behave. Littering is caused by the mindset of the public. It is us who consume, and the manufacturer can be responsible, but it is generally a public mindset which requires these people, the KASESE people, to commit commit to protect their environment, guard it safely so that they can have a future that is pollution-free. We have a number of materials here that are recyclable, and most especially they include the plastic bottles. We have a crisis of water in the country, and accessing bottled water is very important. This is why we may hardly look forward to banning plastic packaging, but instead focus on how important everybody's responsibility can be. We therefore sit here today to agree on selected and actions ability of environmental protection, because in KASESE is where we have the ugliest cases. Effects of environmental degradation have led to creation of an internally displaced people's campsite. It is in KASESE where we have an IDP over climate change issues, and it is very important that people know the several causes of worse impacts on climate change, where solid waste is one. Of course, vegetation cutting is too much, but that is the issues of welfare. Our people in KASESE, these people are poor, that is the truth, and there is much need to create jobs, and the waste management industry is key towards massive job creation, because, well, there is a lot of wealth in plastic waste and other materials. Here where I'm standing, I have the opportunity to also introduce to you two more manufacturers. We have AgriEvolve, they are over there. You can stand for recognition. That is Miss Beth and Joshua. We also, yes, and Agnes. We also have a partner from Ginger, Amelia. This is Mr. Jan here, and this one is specializing in worm production through biodegradable waste management. We shall have a moment where we shall have selected presentations, brief, but then in summary, we are here that in the whole of KASESE, we do not have to only identify the three manufacturers. We require identifying a lot more manufacturers, and most especially those operating in KASESE. See the manufacturer operating in KASESE. This means that the manufacturers, the indigenous manufacturers, are not responsible for protecting our own environment. And now we are looking at the foreign manufacturers. Through waste management is a new tool and promotions. This is why they are coming from outside, and they're going to take over the market share. So those who will not join the revolution, I think they will lose the market share. In summary, we want really should send a communication to us and a commitment, and we will gladly work with everybody, because this is a massive approach. In any case, in the society, we will choose two manufacturers commission. I think we shall give them, because it requires some force. I think it should be employed, although that force is consumable that you use it to. It is you who require it. So at the end of the day, it is consumer responsibility is key. And we have some here. We have LC1 chairman. Yes, please. Please stand for recognition first before you even make a presentation. Dear Commissioner, this is an LC1 chairman of this. You can speak louder. Kitoro Sale. Tell us what you are.
With Baptist Church, and we do units out of agricultural waste products.
How many people do you work with?
Work with something like 35 groups within KASESE.
This is the chairman of a community who is clearly demonstrating political courage that we require. Those are the kinds of leaders you people should be looking forward to voting in power.
Yeah, and I deal with especially these young ones. They move around collecting Cabrera and plastics. So keep them something.
That is maybe the problem they are still suffering from, and this is a picture from this. Because plastic, as you can see down this, plastic has about 7 types. And those 7 types today, only 3 are practically recyclable. The rest are not. Those that are not include the sachets like automatic. There is Tetra Packs. But mainly, what is recyclable is the plastic bottle and its closure, its bottle closure. Those are 2 types of plastics. Most of them have those seals that are not recyclable. As long as the seal makes noise, it is not recyclable. This is why we need to sit with the manufacturers to make sure that they can produce for us sustainable products. Council of Africa Rights Alliance in Kampala as the executive director. On this consortium, member that came up with what we call the World Without Waste Environmental Revolution in Uganda. When we started it, it was so interesting, Bwana Commissioner. Everybody was like, a revolution? We said, it should even be a World War III, because climate change is now the topic globally. On this very note, I am very glad that the Ministry of Energy is here today, because we are going to hear what Uganda is thinking, what Uganda is planning, and what is being done in Uganda here today. For the people of KASESE, I am very glad that you have accepted and appreciated this program. We for a very great reason. The reason is this audit. This is a simple definition that this is in KASESE. Now the question we are answering today and tomorrow is the definition or the answer of the producer, the consumer responsibility. Yesterday I was chatting with the marketing manager of Director. Yes, we are enjoying the milk, but who's responsibility after taking the yogurt or the milk for that caveat? And it's the reason why manufacturers are seriously on board in Uganda. The journey started last year in Mbarara, when we decided to notify some manufacturers who had become too stubborn that they were even not bending, the NEMA laws or the climate or environmental laws, but they were breaking instead. We managed these factories, Bwana Commissioner, in Mbarara. It was our benchmarking area, and you could find a factory or an industry producing and pushing the waste directly in the river Ruiz. The only river that the people of Mbarara and the Bugwezu have in western Uganda. That's over 6 districts. It was so painful. But we say, should we do collaborations? One of the big companies, I don't want to mention in the interest of this country, I personally went to court to file a very serious case on one of the international companies. But when we started the mediation, they were very, very open to accept that there are gaps. And we said we should advise now, or now we should fill the gaps. Because we need a better Uganda. For myself, for you, and the young ones to come. This is not the first intervention in this country. Interventions have been there. But we have brought an intervention in the sense of a revolution. That whatever is happening in Rwanda on plastic cavera must happen in Uganda. And there are no gaps in the law. The laws are very clear. I have read these environmental laws. There are no gaps. We don't need an amendment for now. Are in place, even at the district level. The laws are here. Even at sub-county level. But the question is, where is the will? We want to report that this week, when we were doing what we call the Bulungi Bwansi general cleaning in KASESE municipality, we were very happy by the reception and the participation of the community of the mighty people of KASESE municipality. And for us, that was a signal enough that the message can now go to every village. Ladies and gentlemen, West, what we call KASESE today,
the Minister of Energy is going to tell you the other definition that this is wealth. The manufacturers who are here making pavers, you people from KASESE, like is it Pendezo? There is a company which is building houses here using plastic bottles. This one's here. Roof is here. They're also doing the same. So this waste here is no longer KASESE, it is wealth. You will see very many presentations here. Now our campaign is about the amplification to the effect that let everybody in this country, all the way from Gulu to KASESE, to Kapong, Bundubujo, all corners, Kabale and Central, we want every Ugandan to participate. This one does not need donor funds like NGOs do. I've been in the NGO world for some time. This one needs the will of us, the people. But how are we going to do it? The component we have raised is empowerment. We want to empower everybody who is involved in this cycle or circular economy that we are trying to promote. That whoever is involved in the collection can be an agent of direct hope. You can collect this, but also be an agent in KASESE, be an agent in where. That is why the manufacturers are here. Be an agent of Agrovol. That's why my brother Jan from Busoga, very senior Busoga, is here. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to appreciate the fact that the people and the local government of KASESE have realized our message. And because we are going to run this revolution from village to village in the entire country. Our development partners and friends of the revolution have already started a committee. Very many companies are now calling us. And for us, that is the first step. Because if you are a producer of Lucozade and you know that this is recyclable, and we invite you to participate, and you come, then the problem is solved. We want government to just come and say, yes, now we have the waste management fund in the budget. Conference last year. The Minister of Finance has reserved this, meaning they are adding more efforts on what Ugandans believe in. The moment is now. I think for the revolution members, our dream has become dead. If I may sleep tonight, however cold, somebody told me KASESE is very cold, this time we shall use blankets. We have an issue of policy and legislation that we are going to push forward, especially at sub-county and the district level. And we are very glad that in the next conference, the whole district is here. All local leaders, they are supposed to be here. But because something came up, we are supposed to is here and GNTV is going to share with them. We want every district and every sub-county in Uganda to come up with ordinances and bylaws to support the cause. But the commission of KASESE district is very, very interesting, but again in pain. This is the only district today that has internally displaced people in a camp because of this river that passes behind this building. That is River Nyama. Why? Because the problem is known. These are climate effects, environmental misbehaving of my colleagues in this country. That is why we are saying we are now going to focus on planting bamboo trees, practically, not these things of theory. This one doesn't need a lot of paperwork. We buy bamboo, the suppliers of bamboo are in KASESE, we go with the district environment officers and the river catchment committees, we start. This is our country. Don't expect me from Canada to come and do this. Those of you who are born in KASESE, the moment is now. We must participate to make sure the rivers, Nyamwamba, Rubiriha, Nyamukasani, Sewe, Mubuku, they are very wonderful rivers here. We must protect them so that these 7+ dams that are generating power in KASESE can be sustainable as serious projects to serve this country. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot can be discussed on the issue of climate change. This is just the beginning of our campaign. And this is the real campaign because it involves every tribe in this country. It will involve every religious denomination in this country. It will involve big and short and high in this country. And I have said this is unstoppable. Whoever will dare to fight this program will not find the best remedy. Friends, we have had discussions with big companies in Uganda. Last week we had a discussion by a commissioner with Equity Bank. They are here, they are represented here, I believe. Can we have? Oh, thank you so much. The manager Equity Bank is here. The Green Fund is going to be involved in this program because we are building a national circle which we call the Climate Change Ambassadors Circle. And that is how Equity Bank and other organizations are going to reach our women, our people with disabilities and the youth under this program. So more companies who appreciate what climate change is are coming on board. We are very glad. GNTV is here. They offered free coverage, they paid everything for this program since the week began. And they have gone ahead to say, since KASESE is the launch pad, we are opening an office in KASESE. They already have an office this week in KASESE. We thank you, GNTV. Other media houses, this campaign, actually, if I went to a radio station and you asked me for airtime on your radio station, I would just give you another nickname. Because you wouldn't be fair to this country. Sometimes business must have the other arm of service that can sustain our country. I wouldn't even get surprised that the local government where we are can even charge this symposium to pay for these services. I would even go and dream badly. Because we are fighting for this country. We have been at the Rwenzori Square for 7 days, sending messages. People have left their families. We are there camping for Uganda. I am glad when we had the meeting with the town clerk yesterday, and we discussed, we said, we do not expect, because who funds this? Nobody. We are saying, let us fight for this country. I want to thank everybody who has been a service provider in this campaign, that the journey has started. And if you want to go to Namugongo, I normally tell my friends, Mr. Commissioner, for Kuramaga, if you want to go to Namugongo, Joshua, you can never move alone. You must move with the team, with your cross and the rosaries. That's when you reach Namugongo walking. But if you say, I am going to run like we are running tomorrow in the marathon, they will find you in Hima Cement sleeping admitted. So that is why this is a consortium. We said Fuel of Africa or climate change that Madame Karo heads in this country cannot do it alone. We said we must involve all companies. We must involve all NGOs. We must involve the media. We must involve the community. We must involve local governments. We are very proud of the Ministry of Energy because the last program we had in Mbarara, I think was it November? Yes. Ministry of Energy is committed to this cause, and we believe we shall journey together with the ministry in every corner of this country so that we can serve this country to be a better place to live in. As I conclude my remarks, so that the moderator can take us in the inner part of the event, I want to pledge to the people of KASESE or Renzo region that the companies that are here in KASESE, because all of them them. But it's like hiding your head, like the other bad called a team of around 7 lawyers in my office who can take them on even tomorrow in court. But we are saying you're producing a kombucha product or a juice product. Come and we tell you how you are going to partner with the people of KASESE. After drinking your juice or your kombucha or your waragi, then advise them that please put the plastics alone. Somebody is coming to buy them, it is business for recycling, and we shall have a very beautiful land. Ladies and gentlemen, this revolution, whoever is fighting it using rubber bullets, better open the real magazines on our chests. We are real revolutionaries in this country. I thank you so much.
Thank you, Council Lukumbuka. Thank you, participants in this special national matter of importance. The history of the world without West Revolution is very long, and it could be very hard to summarize what we've gone through, but we can give you a glimpse into what we've been doing and who we have tried to work with, to the extent that we are proposing several actions to be undertaken. I have the honor to read to you the agenda of the day. We are going to have a communication from the Climate Change Institute. We are here because the Climate Change Institute has a partnership with KASESE Municipal Council over Plastic Waste Management, their commissioner, and they have done something, although something is still lacking. We are delighted that the partnership of Climate Change Institute and KASESE Municipal Council acquired us a venue where the exhibition is at the Renzori Square. The same partnership has led us to host the event here at the district, and the outcome will clearly be credited on the successful increase of Climate Change Institute, the local government authorities, and most especially the residents of KASESE. I can take first a moment that after the presentation of climate change, we shall have the introduction of the National Waste Sorting Money. Dear Commissioner, I am the champion of the Waste to Energy thematic group at the Ministry of Energy, with a bias on diversion of plastic waste so that we can promote successful energy resource recovery, like the chairman of our special community that they are doing, because that is if the plastic waste is diverted. And what Jan will tell us about the worms and how sustainably they can be farmed, but it requires us to divert the plastics away from the waste. From there we shall have contributions from the participants, and then the short presentations from selected manufacturers, and then I think we shall be winding up to the conclusion of the event. But first, I take the opportunity to recognize the presence of the District Internal Security Officer. Please stand up for recognition.
I'm here for the discussions at the
Yes, I can also take the opportunity to request my brother Benson to first and foremost make some few recognitions for the participants here, please.
Thank you very much. Now how to have opened our tests for plates because WWE at the moment allow me also recognize the presence of our honorable councillor, Central Division around outside. And seeing his presence. Allow me also recognize the presence of our district commissioner scouts around. Allow me to recognize our director DMFU, around. You allow me also recognize our director, Graphic Adventures Limited. Allow me to recognize the director, Resort Material Lands Conservation Organization. I wish to still recognize the Honorable Councillor, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Brother Benson. We shall keep having sessions as continue to hold public event. For now, I Change Institute to deliver the communication. And in any case, you have an appreciation to make. This has been a long journey for you people in KASESE, and we are proud of your impact. Thank you.
Programs. I want to come to KASESE and the municipality. Also, having the ownership for this time, and I appreciate the relationships that are going on. We are moving on well with the district and other stakeholders. Thank you so much. Let my colleague take over.
Good afternoon. The chairman, the bishop, the organizing committee, and all the leaders for KASESE district. Good afternoon. My name is Emekule Kowa. I work with the climate Uganda. I'm under the of climate change building. Briefly, capacity building. So briefly, climate change is an NGO based in Kampala, but working across the country in different areas. Our major focus is on climate change and resilience to communities, and we do impact or sensitize the community how we can mitigate the climate change. Among our activities are plastic waste management, agriculture, including backyard gardening and fertilizer making from organic waste, from organic materials, tree growing and planting, to communities, but also build capacity hands-on skills to the communities. And currently, as climate change, we are in KASESE under the plastic waste management department, basically plastic waste, and we are also in Mukono campus on a project about biochar making from organic material, basically maize cobs. So that is the basics that we are doing to our community, but we are not limited to any locations. We are moving across the country. As the council says that climate change is coming together, and we say we can mitigate it. And what we have observed in the communities we have been, although we are working with, that these issues are happening, and this is, for example, in Mukono, this is what the people say. One of the members who were being sensitized about climate change practices said, yes, for us you teach us, we are doing ABCD, but what about the government? Because you teach us, don't cut the trees, plant more trees, but in our community, the government come and cut the trees, and you cannot talk about it. So, as the council said that this is mindset change, that doing anything good for the environment, protecting the environment is a will from you, the consumer, from you, the member, but also the producer of that waste. I want to give an example from Rwanda. In Rwanda, there are no practices of environmental training because everybody knows, take your water, move with your bottle. You find the drainage systems, you cannot see any plastic bottle, you cannot see any waste. And the environmental policies they are using, they are the same we have here. But in Uganda, we still have a challenge of goodwill to protect our environment. Like now we may take juice, we may take water. After time, everything will be here. And there may be, we shall allocate some labor systems to do the collection. Secondly, climate change in KASESE is doing a number of elements. I can say that under the plastic waste management, climate change, under that activity, employs more than 50 people, including the youth and the women, in the management of the plastic waste. And I also note that we are able to collect between 15 to 20 tons of waste per month from KASESE. And that is not the whole district, but in the municipal council. So that is too much plastic waste generated, which is collected. So that also brings in an issue that if we don't put our hands together, where would these bottles be? We find that these plastic waste materials are common in urban centers, are common in town councils, are common in cities. What is our role? To start to collect them. Somebody was saying, isn't there any other way we can forward go to plastics? Because we need water is in a plastic bottle, soda is in a plastic bottle, milk is in a plastic bottle, everything is in a plastic bottle. Now, how shall we stop the generation and the collection of the plastic waste? Also that brings us to come together and look for other appropriate mechanisms in which we can minimize the generation of the waste. Let me say this to us as we are here. The way we can manage these wastes from our homes. When we manage the wastes from our homes, we minimize the so many processes we shall go through to collect them. I hope all of us will live. And nobody in the world doesn't generate waste. The problem is can do in our communities. This is our homes. After using the waste, at least each of us should be having at least 3 containers, 3, how do you call the sacks here? The sacks were put in maize. Vera. Vera is the other one and this one. Okay, if we can get at least 3 dozen sacks, one sack collects the plastic bottle. In your home, I'm not saying that you can't break the town council. I'm together. In your home, 1 plastic bottles. The second cavera, you can be able to put in case I'm together. In your home, 1 plastic bottles. The second cavera, you can be able to put in case you have like a glass. Always glass is always overlooked. Those glass and other share objects. So you can also put them. Then the biodegradables, you can also have a sack where to what? To put them. And if you have a garden, the biodegradables can easily be converted into manure in the garden. You don't need anything out of them. Put into the garden, they decompose, become fertilizers. But the problem is the plastic bottles, the plastic is various, then this other glass. Because for scrap you can't find it. We know the scrap, the metals. Even people will be looking from your house. If you are like in some communities where we live, if you are cooking your food, you leave it there, it disappear. By the time you come back, the saucepan is not there. Because they know the value of what? Of the saucepan. As a scrap. So, as we are here in climate change, to mitigate the waste generation and the discarding in the community, whenever you attach a value to a waste, it becomes a resource. And that's why they say that this. So, we need to add a value to them. And not only this one is a waste. This is one of the elements of the what? The waste, because it is commonly known and seen in our communities. But there are even in other waste. Move as an individual because we lack guidance. So we need to see how we can manage it. The waste. I can also say, most of us who have where we live and we can be able to grow vegetables. Some of these wastes can be as gardening points. For example, these are in case I'm at home, sometimes we have these I'm not going to specify that this is this. But sometimes this can be a
This is GNTV, releasing life.
And as we hear the sound of revival calls us again, that's the sound of revival. The sound of revival calls us again, that's the sound of revival. Hey, sound of revival calls us again. Yeah. A friend is thinking about his mother, the weight of all the burdens that she bears. He listens to a silent prayer and holds into the promises you said. When you said we are loved and not here by mistake, fashioned in the image that you bear. And you say we can make a difference if we trust you. So we trust you. We are here.
This is GNTV, releasing life.
Lazarus, the Ministry of Energy and Development. Now, it looks at those and that is the display that we are having outside here. And once it is contaminated, that material is condemned for incineration. So the sorting manual is indicating that we focus on a separate collection of biodegradable waste, of course not including inert materials, these ones. Then 2, separate collection of all recyclables, and 3, separate collection of the non-recyclables, say they are contaminated, all they are not recyclable. And for the last one, we have glass and electronic waste. Most of us here have mobile phones. You are generating every glass and electronic waste. Most of us here have mobile phones. You are generating every So the national sorting manual has been captured, has captured the electronic waste management, our computers, our laptops, these other electronic gadgets. What is these tubes here? This is electronic waste. So that is the 4th category. Now that has not been identified how sorting shall manage it. To participate. display. It's unfortunate, but that is what I'm example we have.
This is GNTV, releasing life. This is GNTV, releasing life.
kinds of schemes that climate change has been undertaken in KASESE Municipal Council. Enabling legal framework. Uganda has a sound policy. I remember Councillor Kumbuka addressing that. And the legal framework supporting waste management. The Constitution of the Republic of Uganda 1995 has amended the National Environment Act. We have a list of policies about the minimum of 12. There is the Health Act, the justification of the training manual. This is the reason why the government of Uganda, represented by the agencies, with the lead agency of the Ministry of Energy, produced this sorting manual. One, for the purposes of enhancing awareness of the general public. What we are doing now, we are informing you, we are giving you information that you can sort. But if you do not see your health and well-being and the environment, this is why we have this to show to you that this has been in your environment, and until you apply that manual to contain it safely at your jurisdiction, you will have a lot of challenges. It will enhance contribution of the waste sector to the green economy, enhance waste collection, reduce money. We have the enhanced adoption of green technologies and cleaner production technologies and cleaner production mechanisms. For example, now these are some of the recommendations that the Ministry of Energy recommends. It recommends resource recovery technologies. That is what our dear Chairman LC1 is doing. It recommends industrial symbiosis. Industrial symbiosis is when you have a waste, say if you generate ash in your industry or in your hotel, and that ash can be, there is a lye that we can recover. There is a lot of potential in ash. Ash can be used to make soap, can be used to make, it still has the carbon, it can be used to make green briquettes. Then there is environmental auditing, like what we did. Then the life cycle assessment is here in the best example demonstrated by Director, coming from Mbarara, following your market shelf, your product at the market shelf, and then in the consumer's area, and establishing that your product was littered. What solutions can you put in place to recover that material from the environment? That is the lesson about the life cycle assessment. That can you take it back? Can you promote additional initiatives to recycle it? So the purpose of the manual is the training manual focuses on training of municipal solid waste generators. Us who have provided here, we are the generators of the waste, and this training is very necessary for us. The objectives of the training to demonstrate municipal solid waste sorting and infrastructure requirements, to define the standards to be used in municipal solid waste composition, analysis, profiling, to ensure effective and efficient municipal solid waste sorting, enable reuse, recycling and resource recovery. Target audience, it is of course the primary audience is the general public. Every person living in Uganda is a targeted audience of the sorting money. The waste streams, amongst the waste you generate that was found, there is wood, there is food, there is textile, there is garden or yard waste, there is paper and pulp, there is glass, plastics, metals, then electronic waste. Now those are the ones that fall into the four categories. We are going to find that textile, we are going to find that textiles, glass, plastics, metals are the examples of the inert products I was telling you. The materials that do not decompose. Textile is our clothes, and we have a lot. Whereas our smartphone has glass. Our homes, I see Jan is wearing glass specs. All that is what is going to likely become a waste, all these materials. Then there is plastics, which include these. There is metals, metallic waste vary at household level. You will find that there are cans, there are aerosol cans, spray cans. Then there is, you can list, that is an example that the ministry gives you. And these can be sorted out for reuse, recycling, and disposal as appropriate. So how as disposal as appropriate? Because when they are contaminated. When they are contaminated. A material being contaminated means that it has gotten in touch with a foreign product or material. In this case, the best example I can give you is the palm oil that is being sold in the reused plastic bottles. Those plastic bottles are rendered contaminated. We handle them, their disposal will be incineration. Then the organic and biodegradable fraction of solid waste is wood, food, garden, yard, paper, and pulp. The others, you can still find them in your households, because that is why it is an engagement platform that you use it at home. Those are the examples that you can have. It can generate feedstocks, it can produce compost, it can produce compost, can produce an evidence of life in that bottle. Now this is an exercise that is the background of the sorting money. That the ministry employed consultants in several municipalities and they held LIVESTREAM consultations. That is how they collected the data that is composed in the sorting manual, which we are introducing to you. So there are gender-related waste streams, including diapers, we have menstrual pads, we have we can have medical waste. Now those are other types of waste that are challenging us, which we are finding in the drainages that are the new roads that are being constructed, which we are finding in River Nyamwamba and others, because of the lack of infrastructure, which was the earlier emphasis of the ministry in development process of this money, that we require to establish infrastructure. The infrastructures here of waste management, the common one is the toilet, because feces is also a solid waste. That is the common solid waste management infrastructure. So we are now talking about underground bunkers. This is a special program that we started with the Ministry of Energy in Mbarara. We have operated 4 pilot programs, and the indication is that today the people of KASESE can resolve, establish underground bunkers, and on Monday we can move around town and map locations. Then the ministry can send the technical staff to come and verify whether our selected locations are suitable for the construction of those bunkers. But those bunkers will clearly be for the management of solid waste alone. That is the recyclable through an incentive system, recyclable as the generator pays this. So there is a lot of waste material. When you go, that is a picture of demonstrating the use of PPE. When you are managing waste, even at your home, even here, that's why I wasn't able to touch one of the items because it is contaminated. And to hold it requires me to have safety. That is the personal protective equipment. So the management practices, then there is segregation, that is the sorting we are talking about. But that sorting has to be emphasizing the resource recovery initiatives. Go to the conclusion. need to always keep track of volume. How much waste do you generate? It is key. When we are looking at practical partners we can work with, they are interested in that data. That in village A of our beloved chairman, biodegradable waste. The question would be, how many residents do you have, how many households do you have, and what is your plans of the partnership, and the sustainability of what is viable. Because research has established able to compute is not sustainable. Therefore, we urge you to start operating weighing scales at your household levels so that you can be able to go forward. One of the easiest ways we can adopt a saving culture by minimizing and reducing the waste. We have received the communication that our members outside have not gotten a lot of the presentation. But clearly I have allowed restaurants and food courts. However, it has been noted and reported that holding of waste receptacles would enhance sorting of waste in the future. This Southman can stand that the language. Some the level they will use for mobilizing
This is GNTV, releasing life. This is GNTV, releasing life.